Hi, this is Dr. Kimberley Linert, and you're listening to Incredible Life Creator Podcast. My guest today is Robyn Haynes. Robyn Haynes is a native New Orleans, Go Saints, who relocated to Atlanta 3 years ago for better opportunities and forward progression in her life. Robyn is a separated, nearly divorced mother of two girls and is currently a network deployment specialist for a software company. She has a bachelor's degree in management of information systems from Ashwood University and is currently working on a network management degree from CTU Online. A former middle school math educator at a small private school, but her passion is being a tax preparer, small business consultant, and grant writer. Robyn is actively working towards purchasing real estate for profit and building generational wealth for her family. Welcome to the podcast, Robyn.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm so happy that we met. We just met not that long ago
Not
through a
that long
mutual
ago.
friend, Focus James, and I've had her on the podcast before.
And she's awesome.
She is awesome. Yes, she is awesome. And if you need dating advice, she's the one.
Yes.
But she came to Atlanta because she's living in Pennsylvania right now, I
Correct.
think.
Yeah.
And she invited me to come and see her for dinner, and she invited you, and that's how we met. And it was a wonderful meeting.
Yes.
And I found out that you were doing some cool things. And not only that, but if I was friends with you, I could actually get some free money. Like,
Don't tell
wow, yeah,
everybody
I'm
that.
definitely going to be friends with her.
Far from.
So, and we'll get into that as we go through the podcast so people can know what I'm talking about. Um, because Robyn might have some free money for other people too. So, but just so people can get to know you, why don't you tell us a little bit about you? I know you didn't start out here in Atlanta, you were somewhere else. So why don't you just start out and tell us your story?
Well, my story is from a single parent home. Grew up in New Orleans. I'm a nerd, so my mom was very adamant about making sure that we got everything that we knew. Learn what you can because the world won't give you anything, and you make your own way. And I traveled a little bit. Kind of decided, maybe New Orleans wasn't the best spot for me. Went to Arizona for a while, Alabama for a while, and just went back to New Orleans and realized there's some growth and opportunities other places. And happened to actually answer a call of a friend, and they said, uh, "Could you come and do some work with me?" And I'm like, "Sure." Came up for a weekend or so, and no problems. Did the work and it was like, this is interesting that I can make this kind of money. This I can, do these different things and enjoy myself and while doing it. And I just took all of my experiences and my talents and brought them here. I've been doing taxes since I think 2010, and I answered a call. I had gotten laid off from a job, and I was like, I can go do some taxes, and a tax season turned into where we are today, a small thriving business. I just have a knack for numbers, and trying to help people get the maximum refund is my goal legally.
We
And
all want that.
I mean, everybody doesn't get a refund, but if you do the right things up front, you won't have any problems. So I just sit there and hold on one second. I think something's going off, an alarm or something. I'm so sorry. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. So just kind of taking my skill sets and trying to maximize them to the benefit of myself and my kids, moving forward to try and do as much as I possibly can. I've gone through Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Rita, Hurricane Gustav, Hurricane Ike. So it's like, hey, let's try something different. I wouldn't go to California because the earth moves. So, I picked something closer, just far enough where I can do what I need to do, get to family if I need to. So I'm liking it here in Atlanta. I've only been here about 3 years, and my kids are getting acclimated to it. I bought a house, so I'm vested, and I kind of like it.
That's beautiful. Yeah, yeah. I've been in Georgia for many years now. I'm from Michigan, but been here for many years. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else except for maybe Florida for vacation.
Yes.
You know, when it gets a little cold here in the winter, I wouldn't mind going to Florida, but it is a wonderful state to live in, I
Okay.
believe. So, um, but now you talked about that you're separated and going through a divorce,
Yes.
and you had some challenges with that. Why don't you talk to us about why you made this decision, this move?
Well, I wasn't happy. I think individually, happiness is everybody's individual bag. And I tried to work at it. I'm a fixer by profession. And so I just couldn't get it right. And I said, let me weigh these options to move forward. And it just seemed like everything pointed in that direction. So I'm actively working through the process. It's not an easy process for a lot of people, especially with kids and things like that. And just trying to maneuver the emotional aspect of it, to maneuver the um, ups and downs of, dealing with yourself, dealing with your emotions, dealing with your kids, visitations, things like that. So it's been a few challenges. Financially, it is also draining a little bit, and it can actually make you give up. But perseverance, beats all, and the goal is happiness. So I need to get myself to back to normal.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Happiness and feeling fulfilled and feeling like, you're here doing your purpose, and then as parents, just being the best parents that we can be.
Yes. It's
So,
challenging, especially during the pandemic.
oh my gosh. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yes, 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 it really is. So, why don't we just talk about the free money? I was very excited when you told me that as is it as an entrepreneur or as a 1099 person
Yes. As a
that I
person
could get free money.
has the potential to get some money uh, if you were impacted through the pandemic. I know everybody's hearing about the PPP loans. Everywhere you turn is PPP, PPP, PPP. And the loans are for businesses who have been impacted at least 30% by the pandemic. Um, I do taxes, so I know most of my customers are business owners or small business owners, have some side business that they may do. And a lot of them, once I was doing their taxes, I realized it's like, you might qualify for this, that, and the other. And what I ended up doing was asking them, okay, we've done your taxes. This is what you're getting or whatever. Are you interested in going after the PPP loan? A lot of responses was, nah, I ain't getting that money. I don't want to get it. I'm like, okay, do you know what it is? Nah, it's the government. Okay, let's sit down and do some education. And I started hearing the same thing over and over again. And, people perish for lack of knowledge. So I went and researched as much as I could to find out how do you go about it. Now, at the onset of the pandemic and when all of this stuff came up, I don't think it was properly vetted and brought out to how it should be. Um, this new update with our new president and everything has made the process much more streamlined, a lot simpler, a lot faster, and people are qualifying for various amounts of money. Not everybody gets the same thing. Not everybody does the same thing, but you do have the potential. Disclaimer: everyone does not get approved. There are some people that get declined, and the PPP money is to assist in what you lost. Pretty much, I'm just basic layman terms. So if you have, had a business, you have a Schedule C or a nonprofit, and you have proof of monies that you've made and show a difference of at least 30% or more, you may qualify to apply for the PPP loan. It is a process. It can be frustrating. And that's what I'm here for. I do taxes. I get frustrated all the time because I know what I'm doing. So I've worked with several lenders to try and work through the process in order to make sure that it's very much so truthful information being distributed. Because I have a motto, orange is not on my color wheel, so I'm not trying to go to jail for you. So I have a few clients I've done, they've, gotten their applications in, some have gotten their promissory notes and are waiting for their distribution of their first draw. It's pretty simple. If you have a business, if you don't have a business, if you don't have a Schedule C, if you just make up stuff, you're going to get caught. It's the government. They do audits and things like that. So, just be honest. If you have a business, if you have a Schedule C and a bank account, you can apply. Now, I'm not the end all be all of anything. I've given people to other people if they want to go to somebody else, if they don't want to do it themselves. I've walked people through it themselves. And I've had a couple people say, it was kind of easy. It was kind of complicated. You got to read all the paperwork and everything. But, all in all, I'm glad you helped me through it. And we go from there.
Well, I'm really glad you helped me through it. I mean, I just sent the things to you. Anything you told us said, I need this and this and this. I'm like, sure, here you go. Here you go, Robyn. And I don't know what you're doing over there in your little office, but you're doing whatever you're doing. And then you come back to me. I need you to sign this and this. Okay. Hey, I can do a DocuSign. I can go click, 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 click. So I just went click, 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 sign to this thing, send it back. Oh, one more thing. Just sign this. Okay, click, 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 click. Okay, we're just waiting. Oh, hey, it came through. Just sign one more thing to get your money. I mean, it was so easy. I think if anybody right now has a business or a Schedule C and they want to get a PPP loan, they should call Robyn because Robyn makes it really easy. I didn't really have to do any work at all.
Well, I'm glad you thought it was an easy process. It's a lot more to it, but I try to streamline it so that people have questions. I answer questions. I'm going to be straight with you, that I built my tax business on being honest and having integrity, because if anything happens, I'm liable. I can lose my P10, which is the preparer's tax identification number, if I do something illegal or wrong on someone's taxes. So I feel the same way with the PPP. So if you can trust me to do something like that, I'm giving you my word. I'm not going to screw you up.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
And just to let everybody know, I did it for myself first before I started going through with everybody else. I've got a few clients and a few more on the way. And we got to hurry up and get all of the information in because the program's about to end. They said May 31st, but it looks like the money's starting to dry up. So probably mid-May will probably be the deadline.
All right. So quickly, everyone. So let's talk about taxes. So most people don't want to talk about taxes. So let's talk about the fun part. What can we do so that we don't have to pay too many taxes? Is there certain basic things that anyone with a business can do, or even a personal person without a business? I'm sure that's a different rules. I've just always had a business, so I don't know any different. But what can we do so that we don't pay more taxes than we're supposed to?
Well, if you usually, everybody pays about like 25% of their salary or whatever they make in taxes. So if you're paying about that, you're usually good. You might, break even. You don't owe them. They don't have to refund anything to you. If you are working a job and you have a W-2, pay some taxes. If you don't have any dependents or a business or anything like that, you're going to owe taxes. So in order to lessen that liability, you want to make sure that you're paying your fair share. If you fill out that W-4 at your job for a W-2 job as, I don't know, single, one dependent, two, however many dependents you have, you don't have to change it every month or every 3 months, or don't put 6 now and do it for 6 months and then change it back. You cheat yourself. And with all the tax laws that have changed over the last few years, you want to make sure that you're getting your fair share, you're paying your fair share. And if you're due a return, like for instance, if you have some dependents, I have two. So I have dependents. It really came to fruition with the pandemic that a lot of people hadn't done their taxes because they didn't get their stimulus checks. And everyone was concerned. Well, I didn't get my stimulus. Well, did you file your taxes? Well, no. So okay, well, IRS realized that they had a lot of people that didn't file taxes or were pending taxes or whatever. And so they opened the tools so you can go in and put your information in. And it's like a temporary Band-Aid. However, you're still required as a citizen to file taxes every year. I do have customers who have lagged a couple years or so or 5, and they need to pay, they need to do their taxes. And I tell them all the time, it's very simple. Once a year you have to do your taxes, just like voting. It's your responsibility, so you have to do it. I know everybody doesn't do it, but it's your right. Just like paying taxes to live in this free country, that's not free, that we all have to do our fair share. And so it's a good thing to just know, okay, I need to get my taxes done. And if you don't know how to do them, you need to find a reputable person. A lot of people go to H&R Block or Jackson Hewitt or whatever place to get their taxes done. A lot of times they're just entering your information and not looking for where you get deductions, especially if you have businesses. And a lot of businesses, truthfully, do not take the proper documentation to heart. So, all of their receipts, I have one customer that brings me all of their receipts every quarter. I organize them, I put them in a spreadsheet, I put them in QuickBooks, and at the end of the year, I have a profit and loss statement for them. Now, they pay me throughout the year for that. However, when it's time to do their taxes, all the information's already there. If you keep it organized, it's going to be easy for you or a person that you have to do your taxes to get it done. And another thing about tax preparation, a lot of people complain about it costs too much money. Okay, if you go to Jackson Hewitt or H&R Block, they charge you per form that you use. So like everyone uses a 1040. If you have dependents, you're using the EI, Earned Income Tax Credit, EITC. If you have a business, you're using a Schedule C. Those forms for those organizations that charge for the service cost, and you're paying top dollar. So don't be surprised if it costs you $300 or $400 if you're getting like an $8,000 tax refund. I don't do the rapid refund thing. I just don't do that. I work with my customers, give me your information. We'll file it. If you get a refund, great, you can pay me up front. Or if you get a refund and you want to wait till then, we'll work out something. But for the most part, if you get a refund, you can pay me. And I'm reasonable. I'm within the range of what most people charge as far as tax preparers they charge.
Beautiful. So what are some of the mistakes people make when putting together their taxes?
The biggest mistake is transferring numbers. If it's 38 and you put 83, that's a big difference. And so it's just paying attention. And a lot of people, I'm gonna do TurboTax, I'm gonna do this. Make sure you're putting your information in correctly. Make sure it's looking for your best options. If you have a business, make sure you're putting in, if you had advertising expenses, whatever your expenses were, whatever depreciated value, it depends on type of business you have. So if you got a lawn care business, you buying oil and gas, and those are the expenditures. Supplies, you might have to buy a new weed eater, or if you have a computer networking company, you might have to buy switches and routers or cables and things like that. So it varies. And, the difference between someone doing lawn care's expenditures may be well different from somebody who's doing network management or network development for as their business. So it varies on what you're spending from what you're making and how you can put it on your tax return.
Got it. So, so do you mostly work with private people, or are you working mostly with business people in your business?
It started off as just a bunch of my friends who needed their taxes done, and they were like trying to support me because I started doing taxes. I was pretty good at it. And then it just started growing word of mouth. It's like, Robyn does taxes, she'll get you a refund. But I told people, stop saying that. I can't guarantee a refund. If you didn't pay anything, you can't get anything out. Just like the bank, if you don't put anything in, you can't take anything out. So it's important that you make sure that you make sure all your documents together. Make sure you have a reputable person that's doing your taxes, like somebody with experience, not somebody who just learned in the class 6 weeks ago to do your taxes. And make sure that, they're not charging you too much money. Like, you don't want to get, I've had in the past someone tell me, I went to H&R Block, or I went to Jackson Hewitt, or this triple X tax service, and they charged me $900 to do my tax return. I'm like, how many dependents did you have? How many business expenditures did you have? I'm asking these kinds of questions. And it's the matter of, like, for a business, genuinely, a business can take a loss 3 consecutive years out of 5 years when they're filing their taxes. So you've got to know these kinds of things. So it's a lot of stuff being a tax preparer, and a certified tax preparer is even worse, because you have to know certain things. You've got to know when, hey, this is not going to work, and be able to tell the customer, hey, you may owe because you didn't do this, this, and this. So it's become a lot easier for me. But I tell people all the time, if you don't want to do it and you're willing to pay for it, it's fine. I'm going to work with you to get all the information as best I can.
Wow. So with all this changing of your career and everything, it looks like we might have a guest.
Oh, yay. Hi.
Hold on. I think there's a guest coming. I think we have a guest coming in.
Yay.
All right. There she is. Oh my goodness, a surprise guest, Miss Focus James.
Hello, I thought I was going to be in the audience, and I can definitely fade to the audience and wait for, I want to see you guys in your element. So what would you like to do?
Well, it's just great to have you here, Miss Focus. And you are the wonderful woman that brought the two of us together. Yes. And that lovely dinner we had at the seafood restaurant in Atlanta. Yes. Beautiful night.
It was so lovely, and you both were so sweet, driving from wherever you had to come to, visit me, being in there a couple of days. Thank you, ladies. The hospitality was amazing.
Awesome.
Yes, yes. So I was just about to ask Robyn about, going from New Orleans to Atlanta, and how have your girls adapted to this? Like, what has been their reaction? Did they say, no, Mom, we don't want to go, or yes, we wanted to go? And how is it going?
I got, no, Mom, we didn't want to be here. We want to go back to New Orleans as of 2 weeks ago. And we visit as much as we can. Well, considering the pandemic, we haven't visited as much as we were visiting, but I made sure that they get a good dose of going to New Orleans, seeing familiar faces. But I explained to them very clearly, Mommy works in Atlanta. We have a house in Atlanta. So we live in Atlanta. Now we'll visit New Orleans, and we are from New Orleans. And we can tell people that we're from New Orleans because we know the girls through and through. But, we just had to make a little transition, make a change. And the most wonderful news, I have to share this because my daughter is in the band, and she goes to the middle school here, and she did an audition and she got accepted into the performing arts high school here. So she'll be starting 9th grade this August and being in the performing arts band.
Oh, that is awesome. And we have some amazing bands down here in the South.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So if people actually wanted to work with you, they wanted to get their taxes done, or they wanted to rush in real quickly and get one of those PPP loans, how would they contact you?
Well, first, they can call me on my cell phone at 470-568-0677. That's 470-568-0677. Or they can email me at rhaynes, HAYNES, .aats@gmail.com.
All right. Well, that is awesome. So I just wanted to talk about, and the three of us can talk together. Let's just talk about making changes in our life, when we have to pivot, when we have to change, because I know all three of us women have had to do that. We all three of us have kids. Mine are a little older than yours. Well, you have an older one and a younger one, Focus.
Yeah.
And Robyn, what do you think has helped you be able to actually change and smoothly pivot from one thing to the next?
Before Robyn asks that, I want you to know that she's actually taking care of my PP loan. I was to say that. And I got to be honest with you, she made it so easy, guys. So for those that are thinking about it and you're reading all these articles and it's so overwhelming, I said, Robyn, I need your help. And she made it so easy. She talks in civilian terms. You know, you hate those people that, you know they stuff, but they don't know how to translate it to civilians. But she definitely does. And she made it so easy and walked me all the way through. So definitely email her, call her, guys. And you just might not know that you actually qualify. So just have the conversation because she knows the ins and outs. I just got to get that plug because I was exasperated from it. But when I turned it over to her, she made it so easy.
Thank you.
I mean, I live by, the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid. So, if you have something that needs to be explained, if I can explain this to my children, I can explain it to anybody. And I have highly intelligent, very hyper kids, and they'll listen, okay. And if I can get it to them in less than a minute, I know I got it and I can explain it to other people. I am a person of integrity, and I try to make sure that in everything I do, that I understand and I use myself as a guinea pig on whatever venture I'm going through. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'm honest enough to say, hey, we tried. Let's look another way. Let's try something else. I am, like they say, a jack of all trades, kind of, sort of. I'm a master of about 3. Because I work on computers. I'm professionally, I am a network deployment specialist for a software company, and I really enjoy my job. But I had this desires, like when I moved to Atlanta, I had been doing taxes for people I know, and it was a few people here and there, but it was like I met a lot of people, and a lot of people had the same questions. It's like, oh, it's almost tax time. I don't know who's gonna do my taxes. I'm like, well, I do taxes, let me see, let me check it out. I've had a couple people from the church I go to, and they were like, can you do our taxes? I'm like, yeah. I wanted to have a seminar to kind of go through the process of filling out taxes, the responsibilities that you have to do, because at a certain age, some people stop doing taxes or having to file taxes because Social Security or whatever. And they need to know that sometimes they can check in with IRS just to make sure, and also check your identity verification, because we have a high number of identity thefts these days. And so it's very important to kind of stay on top of it. I'm not telling everybody jump in and learn how to do taxes. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. Yeah. Have those conversations. We tend to not have the conversations, and we are withholding and disservicing ourselves because people have information and they can either pass it along, or if you never ask the right question, you never get the information. So I applied for the PPP loan initially and I didn't get it. I applied for the EIDL and I didn't get it. But if things changed, then we're waiting to see. So you just got to keep at it and continue to ask questions and be open to discuss it. I know everybody hates talking about money. It's money. We need it. They wouldn't have gave stimulus if we didn't need it. So we have to open up and stop being so fearful about it and deal with the actual issue. Is a lot of people have money or don't know that it is a tool to use in order to better yourself or better your family or settle your family. A lot of people have probably come up out of poverty because of the stimulus, or, they might have been one check away from losing everything. And then the stimulus came and boom, now we're comfortable. We got a little wiggle room and now we can move forward. Or the business was suffering and they might have needed just a few $1,000s, and then they applied for the PPP loan and got a few $1,000s, and now they're okay. And so it's a perspective kind of thing. And I like making people happy. It was like, hey, Kimberly, it's like, hey, are you busy? I'm sorry, so late. Can I talk to you? Okay, I need you to look at your email.
He said it was really late at night. I was in bed and I'm like, who's calling me? And I pick it up, it's Robyn. She's like, you got to sign this right now. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, get it done, because we're working on a timeline, and, it's just like taxes. We got a deadline. So now, mind you, I'm a certified tax preparer. I do not have a tax season. I do taxes all year long. So if we missed the deadline, we file for an extension, you have till October to get your taxes, done. So that's what the option you have as an individual as well as a business. So don't stress out about April 15th or May 17th this year. So, you just got to put it in perspective and have conversations about money. I've been talking to my kids about money since we moved here. I came from a situation that felt like perpetual poverty. No matter how much money I made, no matter what I did, I have skills, I would make money. And it's like, I had $3,000. 2 days later, I'm broke. What happened?
Yeah.
Where'd it go?
Yes. And that's straight to the point where Kimberly asks, how did we pivot? Because we had a certain amount of, and we're friends as as well as business partners as well. Robyn, when she came here, her tax business blossomed. So she really got that aha moment that this is a great way for me to make, extra income at the same time with this move, if you will. So pivoting is like essential as we from different stages, in life. And part of my pivot was giving it up, right? I've done my taxes the last 10 years on my own. And acquiring properties, my business, I was like, okay, I'm sure I'm leaving money on the table. I got to swallow my pride and stop thinking about the couple of $100 I'm saving by doing it myself and give it to the expert. So I'm so grateful she's doing my taxes, this year. And that's that humbling, that's letting go, right, ladies? When you do something so long, you don't want to let it go. You're like, oh, I know how to do this. And I'm like, I probably don't by now. There's probably so many more ways to write things off that I don't even know about now. So I'm so glad I have Robyn to give that to. Thank you, Robyn.
You're welcome. And honestly, I don't do my own taxes. It's a thing for me. I pay someone to do my taxes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
It keeps me honest, and it keeps me from getting audited in case I get so entangled in somebody else's and try to do the same thing for myself. So I'm an honest person like that. I'd rather pay to make sure I'm good because I have all this other stuff to worry about. So it's just like you said, focus. It's like, because I did my own a couple of times and I was like, I did pretty good. And then when I had them do it and they looked at it from a different perspective. And that was another aha moment for me. Because the person who does my taxes is actually one of my mentors. When I told him I was doing taxes, they say, oh, you like to do that? And we have some great conversations that kind of, when I moved to Atlanta, I kept saying, well, I'm gonna stop doing taxes. I'm gonna stay focused on my computer stuff. I'm gonna, get me a job in IT and that's gonna be it. And I realized, like, why was I putting myself in a box? I moved all the way out here so I wouldn't have to do all that. So I stopped putting myself in a box and I realized that there is something here and it's a small piece of the pie. I'm not trying to be the next millionaire tax preparer. I'm just trying to make a happy life for me and my kids. And so with the pivot thing, I learned how to manage, because when I came here, I had nothing, and to build, and my kids were my biggest motivators. Like, okay, kids are gonna tell you, mommy, I'm hungry, and you gotta figure out how to feed them. And it's like, okay, well, I can do taxes. And I do my friends' taxes, and they were like, well, you moved to Atlanta, how are we gonna get you? Okay, that's what the internet's for, people. Scan it or take a picture or just mail it to me. And I had done that the year prior to the pandemic. And a majority of my people would just mail it to me, check your email, I just sent it, or text me, get my ID and stuff, and I mailed you the stuff on the, in the mail, just check it out and I get it. And I'm a little old school with that because my mentor told me, you keep everything electronically, what if your computer breaks? I have 4 computers, but I listen. And so I'm gonna, I said, okay, so I print everything out because at this point, that's another expense that I can put on my taxes to deduct from what I make, because I'm printing out hundreds and hundreds of sheets of paper almost every other day, just because the average the person who's submitting their taxes, they're giving you a W-2, 1099, and God knows whatever else. And then you have IDs and all that kind of stuff. And I have a system the way I do the taxes. I have a 3-step system to put everything in place. When I get it, I have to make copies. I have to put it in your folder. Now you have a folder. Now we're doing your taxes. I have to ask you questions. We go through the process that I may call you on Friday night at 5 o'clock. Can you talk for 15 minutes? Answer these questions. Okay, let's do this, that, and the other. All right, I have your information probably within a day or so. I give myself a buffer of about 2 days because sometimes life happens, I have kids, life happens. I was doing some taxes a couple months ago when everything first started, and my youngest ran into a wall and had to go to the hospital and get stitches.
Ouch.
So it's like, I'm doing this, and my oldest is like, Mom, I think we got to go to the hospital because she bleeding. I'm like, okay, so I'm texting everybody, hey, putting on there on hold, and I'm communicative, as you all know. I communicate, good, bad, or otherwise. I'm gonna let you know something within a few days, no longer than a week. With your taxes, once we prepare everything, get it submitted. Now we're waiting on IRS. We've had a lot of different holdups because IRS is taking care of stimulus payments and the with the taxes. If you've made over $10,200 on unemployment for that year, it's holding up. A lot of people normally get their money within like 21 days or whatever. It's going on a little bit longer, and we're in the midst of a pandemic still. So we just got a lot of things to wrap up and do, so to get it done.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for that. And so let me ask you a personal question. What gives you the most happiness and fulfillment in your life?
Aw.
Oh, well, the mom answers my kids, but I like getting things done. I guess that's why doing taxes and PPP loans, it's a process. And I'm, a computer person by nature, passion, and the taxes just work well. If I can learn how to do the computer stuff as well as I can do the taxes, and I'd be awesome. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Yeah. Well, it's been awesome having you on the podcast, and thank you for Focus for just hopping on. That was pretty exciting.
Awesome.
I was surprised. I didn't know she was coming. It's pretty surprising.
I thought I was going to be an observer in like the back room. I was like, oh, send me the link. I want to see you ladies, right?
Well, now you're part of the show. So
Thanks for having me.
Yes, but thank you so much for being on. And Robyn, what is your best advice on living an incredible, amazing life?
Find your happiness and everything else will follow. If you're happy doing things that you really like or love, it becomes easier. I've learned that in my journey, and I'm doing the best I can to stay happy and enjoy myself and experience new things. Like last night, I went to my first Major League Baseball game, and it was awesome.
Oh,
So fun.
It's new experiences. It's a lot.
All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much. And we'll talk to both of you soon.
All right. Thank you.
have a good
Thank you,
night.
Focus.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Kim.
Good night, Kimberly.
Good night.